So I just found this guy the other day, right? Remember, I always say I want to react more to people I agree with, yeah? He's probably doing reaction videos, so there will be more reactions of reactions and stuff here, but this is a long video, so I'm not going to play it all. I want to play some of that nutter I played last time, who's the anti-woke, hates everything Marvel. He's even attacking Deadpool. I want to see what on earth do you have to say about Deadpool, yeah? The white male-dominated, like, violent film that you'd think them guys would love. But instead of that first, right, we've got this video here. X-Men 97 hate campaign failed hard. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I haven't seen them coming at X-Men 97 like that as much. And when I searched on YouTube, like, X-Men 97 woke and stuff like that, it's come with videos that were a bit before. Yeah, because it's, you know. Anyway, and it says, geeks and gamers humiliated by its success, they were wrong. 24-minute video. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole thing because I've got so much to go into today, but I thought I'd give this a bit of a watch, right? And I can't see the name of this guy's channel there. Eric Debunks, yeah? Eric Debunks. So I think he might be a bit like me, do you know what I'm saying, this guy. Although, you know what I mean, he's a bit of a comic nerd kind of guy himself. So am I. You know what I'm saying? So am I. Obviously, I come from this, like, hip-hop, the streets background or whatever, but I'm a comic nerd like anyone. Alright, so let's check him out, man. One sec. That's not coming through. That is not coming through. But it's alright, I can solve it. Solve it in 2 seconds flat. And that is the issue I was having when Mystery MC was here. It's an issue with my headphone, with the thing switching to my headphones.
Hey Bears, Eric here, and I thought it would be fun to take a look back at astroturfing attempts from these anti-fandom chud channels. The times where they have tried to astroturf something and they've rolled the dice, they've thrown the dart and hope they hit their target. So, because trust and believe, they don't...
I don't even know these kind of terms he's using for all of this, but what I'm assuming he's talking about is like where these Marvel fans, the right-wing, these right-wing nerds are attacking a film before it comes out to try and cancel it, like, you know, like they tried it with Black Panther. Obviously it failed with that as well, but they achieved it with the Marvels. Bunch of films where they're like, this film's gonna be so woke, it's gonna be so woke, so they attack it in advance. They would like review bomb it so it gets trash reviews. So I guess that's what he's talking about here, that they attempted that on X-Men 97 before it dropped, right? Because the writer to X-Men 97 was fired 2 days before the launch, which is very strange, yeah? And it is a very woke story. His interviews have addressed, like, that he wanted a trans character or non-binary character or whatever. And not or whatever. You know, we should be specific on these things, but I don't want to like misquote him or whatever, yeah? But so they were attacking that and got, like, they were making stories like, oh my god, woke director fired. Don't get me wrong, it might be because he's a woke director that they fired him. They might have fired him ahead of it to, like, all right, let's make this announcement, we fired him so that they can't come for us. And now they're looking like the fools if that's the case. Because, yo, he's just written the best thing they've done in years and they need him right now. I really want to know why they fired him and whether it was necessary.
No entertainment. They do not know. They have a method, right? The astroturfing is a method. They kind of pick a target, they start talking about it negatively and hope that it ends up being bad or that fans don't like it or it doesn't make any money. There's several things that could happen in that process to make it so that their astroturfing looks extremely justified and successful. So I thought we'd start out with X-Men 97. It's a recent property that was heavily astroturfed up until like a week or so before it came out. By a lot of channels, but I want to look specifically at Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers because it's kind of been a meme recently that Jeremy made a video 2 months ago about X-Men 97, like basically being DOA, and then cricket since then. Actually, I think he did. We'll take a look, but I think he did one more video about Bodemayo being.
Oh, I need to. This is jokes. I didn't even know this term astroturfing. Right, I'm learning something today. That's sick. But that's hilarious. So these guys, like big YouTubers, were like, "Yeah, this is gonna be so shit." And then it's crickets. He said, "Yeah, tumbleweeds."
Being fired or splitting from Disney Marvel. But outside of that, nothing. No other videos that I could find from him. So we're going to take a look at those 2 videos. And if you guys end up liking this format and you want me to do this with other things, like go back and see if there were any successful astroturfing attempts, let me know. But there's 2 videos. They're very short. This is going to be fun. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, and let's watch this. Debunk it if we have to.
What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video, and today we are talking about X-Men 97. Everybody is excited for X-Men 97 after seeing the trailer, after seeing the marketing, after seeing the nostalgia all over the place. Everyone is loving it. Well, at least.
By the way, this title of this video is X-Men 97 already ruined by Disney wokeness. And this again was about 2 months ago. I don't know the exact date,
I saw this when I searched. I told you.
Yeah,
I saw this when I searched. Remember, I already searched looking for videos to do what he's doing. Maybe we will watch quite a bit of this because I wanted to watch some of. I wanted to go and search for some of these videos after. But if he's already found them for me, I'll just watch his one. That's hilarious.
Initiated are loving it because if you've been paying attention to Disney, Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, anything they've been doing for the last several years, well, you probably know that there's a lot of bait involved in order to pull you in so that they can then push their propaganda and their nonsense. Now,
so he's suggesting that the uninitiated, which I guess would be us, the fans of the show, that we are not aware that Disney has a bait and switch thing going on. And so he's suggesting that X-Men 97 at this point was going to be a bait and switch, that it wasn't going to be what they were advertising it to be, which I thought was kind of funny. Let me explain to you quickly before we watch the rest of this why I think that's funny. The astroturfing included a lot of negative press about news articles, things that people involved with the creative process said about the show. You know, Bo DeMaio being an openly gay man, a person of color, talking about his experiences with that. Like all these things were things that were they said were being injected into the show. So it wouldn't be bait and switch if that were the case. Bait and switch would be if they acted like the show had nothing diverse in it at all, and then you go to watch the show.
But that's what. But that's what. Like that's what. Like the madness of these people is. They actually probably saw the trailer and, oh, it's so nostalgic. It's like what I remember. And what I remember wasn't woke. You know what I'm saying? Like, so these lot are actually so dumb and brainwashed that they actually believe that this stuff is not woke. They believe, oh, yeah, it's going to be like a superhero, yeah, Captain America, Superman, yeah, patriotism show. Just because in their brain, that's what power and superpowers must like attribute to or whatever. But obviously, this brother here who's doing the reviews is 100% right. That's not at all what they advertised anyway. What they advertised is what we're going to see.
But according to these guys, the show was DOA because of all the diversity talk that was happening prior to the show coming out. So that's literally not a bait and then switch. That's not what it is. Anyway, let's continue.
Now, again, I love X-Men, the animated series. I think it's probably the definitive animated series for superheroes. It's phenomenal. And I think it actually did more for X-Men than even the comics or anything. I mean, the animated series was...
I won't disagree with them there. I think the X-Men cartoon did sort of help keep the X-Men. They didn't need help to be on the spotlight, but comics were struggling in the late 90s. And the cartoon...
No, facts. I mean, I don't know how old these people are in it, but I was only thinking this recently because I read comics from young and stuff like that, but I think the X-Men cartoon is what I saw first before I like picked up a comic book, because that come out in 92, right? And I would have been like 9 years old. So I think I saw that, and that's when I went outside and I saw that and the Spider-Man animated series and the Batman one as well, actually. I'm pretty sure I saw them first. And like that's why it's quite, for my generation, that's like the definitive version in a way.
Definitely kept the momentum going for the X-Men.
Amazing.
And then obviously just on my comic geek shit to carry that on, actually, like, yeah, so that team and that team and like look of it was the definitive version for us. But then obviously I started reading the books. I was reading the current ones at the time, so I read them through the 90s. But recently, now they got Marvel Unlimited, and I've realized that team came in the 70s, right, with the Chris Claremont run. So I've been reading that. I was like, I'm just going to read that from the start, like up to where I read in the 90s or whatever. And I've been getting through it still. It's some really, really, really dope stuff. And woke as hell, man. I'm saying.
And we got this trailer for X-Men 97. And look, there's a lot to like about this trailer for sure. I had some criticisms of it on Geeks and Gamers Daily, but overall, I think there's some pretty good stuff in here. Some of the animation bothered me, and some of the character models, like, not that they're bad, but like Rogue, I didn't think looked great.
The whole Rogue thing was so stupid because the most recent episode as of recording this was basically a Rogue-centric episode, and she looked fantastic in that episode. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, all the art is really solid. Anyway.
I just think there was something about like the background animations were pretty good, but the character models didn't seem to line up with it at all times.
Oh, okay.
That's just me. As someone that loved the animated series, obviously you have Storm, which, listen, as I said, I know she had the mohawk in the comics. That is not why Disney is going with the SJW.
Oh, it's not why they're going with the SJW haircut?
SJW
there was something
haircut.
else. There was some other motive for them doing that. So they had her in the mohawk, according to Jeremy and a lot of these other channels, because there was some other motive for that. They were doing it to push her as a linebacker, manly character. If you watch some of these other channels, I've covered other videos where people said that. When in fact that did not happen. We are up to episode 7 as of me recording this video, and the mohawk is gone. There was no ulterior motive to the mohawk. There was no weird, insidious propaganda about her having that haircut.
It's fan service.
These guys wanted you to believe that going into the series. It was a huge talking point going to the series, and now no one talks about it.
Haircut, it's just not. It's just not. But again, you know, a lot of people looked at it and said, hey man, I'm really looking forward to this. It looks great, yada yada yada. Totally understood. Totally understood. But we got a little bit of an issue suddenly, because this is how it goes with Disney. The moment that, you know, you see something you're maybe a little bit excited about, well, then we get this right here from X-Men Updates.
Okay.
Morph's characterization in X-Men 97. This is a lighter take on the character who is non-binary and has an interesting buddy relationship with Wolverine. The character's
they got the
past
correct
with Mr.
word
Sinister,
in there.
the show's villain, could also come into play.
I want to say, looking at that description, it makes total sense based on what we've seen on the show so far. So Mr. Sinister has been a massive impact in Morph's life. They've talked about it on the show. They've mentioned it several times. I'm pretty sure we might see more of that in these last 2 or 3 episodes, since we know that that's going to be like the big thing at the end of the season. The buddy relationship with Wolverine, other than like one joke that was a little bit edgy, it's basically just been a really good friendship between the two characters. Morph being non-binary, they call Morph they. There's been no episode about it. There's been no speeches about it. There's been nothing along those lines.
I've noticed nothing.
It would make
anyway,
no sense to have that conversation on a show based in the 90s, when we know that the talking points about non-binary gender identities didn't happen until much later. And even the people behind the creative said that. They were like, it wouldn't make sense to talk about that on a show that was based in the 90s. So all of that makes total sense.
And boom.
This guy here is really cool, man. I can't remember his name. I can always remember his name, right? Eric the Bunks is cool, man. Big him up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tag him. I'm gonna make this video into a separate thing. I'm gonna tag him in it. Hope he sees my reaction. Big him up.
Boom. Done. See you later. It's over. I retweeted this. Simply put, fuck this show. Again, it's Disney. What do you expect? We saw Bob Iger the other day. We saw the leak call from Bob Iger. Again, let me play that.
What do you expect?
The leak call from Bob Iger the other day, where he puts it all into perspective right here. Bob Iger says it.
About this eloquently since he's become CEO.
Yo, this is layers. Look at the layers here, yeah? I'm doing a reaction of a reaction to him. Yeah? From my little cursor on the screen. I'm doing a reaction to him. Doing a reaction to him. Doing a reaction to him. This reaction is, I don't even know how many it is. I'm going to get tongue-tied.
Say a couple of things about it. You know, we've tended to shy away from politics. And in doing so, I think we've shied away from talking about issues that aren't political at all, like the issues that we're talking about today. Because we believe in doing so, maybe it looks like we're taking a stand. Well, in that reality.
Well, then I want to clear that up. What he's talking about is how a lot of these folks in Jeremy's space take social issues and community issues and try to make them political. That's what he's talking about. Like, the idea of politicizing gender identity and sexuality is something that people who are not part of that community have taken sort of a political stance on, but they're not inherently political. They're social. they're community-driven things that people in those groups have to fight for that politically because they're being oppressed by people who consider social status to be a political thing, like Jeremy and so many other people in the space.
We should be taking a stand. By the way, I take responsibility for this. I was CEO for 15 years. And so I managed the company's public-facing processes and how we were portraying ourselves. And I think that we have to be less cautious, as Bob, I think, was just alluding to, about such things and not be concerned. Like just commenting about what happened in Washington last week, that's not political on our part at all. We know that what we saw was fundamentally wrong and that it was rooted in hatred and disrespect and contempt and intolerance. And we should feel free as a company to comment about that without retribution.
They should. It's a free speech thing. And again, these guys who seem to be champions of free speech always want to police other people's speech when it's not conservative, when it doesn't speak to their values.
That's Bob Iger. He also says, hey, we did Black Panther. How great are we?
A great example of that, or Tiana, or of course, Black Panther is one of the great examples of that. I allowed those things to make me feel a bit complacent in a sense. It's not that I wanted to be that way, but I thought, wow, we did Black Panther. How great are we?
And that is Bob Iger's mentality. So
yeah, he's happy that they were able to release a movie that was suppressed by Ike Perlmutter because of the fact that it was a black lead superhero.
And I don't know, he's probably going to say similar things, but yeah, I mean, he's checking himself, right? My man here, this right-wing reactor, whatever, this anti-woke reactor, is complaining that he's saying he's doing something for, I don't know, just kind of, it's not fan service, but just like diversity, like performative diversity, right? That he's like, yeah, that he's just taking part in performative diversity, but that's what the guy is actually, he's G-checking himself on it. You know what I'm saying? We have to I'm saying, if, don't get me wrong, if that's what they're doing, then yeah, shame on him. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh yeah, we did that, how great are we? Nah, that's not the end kind of thing. Yeah, I guess it's not actually performative because he's knowing he did it because it was the right thing and it was a good thing that they wanted to do, right? But they're like, yeah, let's not just start patting ourselves on the back and taking all the praise for it. Like, it's not the end. You know what I'm saying?
You guys say it's not supposed to be about race, right? This is their argument, is that it's not supposed to be about race. So if it's not supposed to be about race, and you know that someone like Ike Perlmutter was preventing Black Panther from coming out because he didn't believe that a black superhero could make money for Marvel, then it was.
I don't even know about this. See, I'm saying, like, obviously most of my stuff's in music and other kind of entertainment discrimination and stuff like that. He's saying names and shit. I didn't know there was someone involved. I need to look up this name.
It was about race. It absolutely was. And therefore, the response to that has to be about race as well, because that is what it's rooted in. So if you don't want it to be about race, then stop pushing back so hard against it.
Yeah. So again, for those that are excited about X-Men 97, don't let me rain on your parade. Go for it. Be excited for it. Love it.
That was so funny. Yeah. Did he say, let me pull up this guy's name, yeah? Let me find that guy's name.
Yeah. So
for Marvel, then it was about race. And you know that someone like Ike Perlmutter was preventing
Ike Perlmutter. I just remembered Ike, right? I'm gonna pull this on the screen. I just remembered Ike, so I was just searching on the side Ike Black Panther. Yeah. I searched Ike Black Panther thinking the guy's name will come up. And it brought up a load of articles of David Icke. I don't know. You know what? I thought it was going to be David Icke cussing Black Panther. It doesn't actually seem like it is. Yeah. Is it him talking about the Black Panthers? Gosh, I thought it was going to be David Icke doing some right-wing madness. Alright, cool. I'll look up the guy properly. What's the name again? Pro something. Let me just hear that one more time.
Black Panther from coming out. And you know that someone like Ike Perlmutter was preventing...
Perlmutter. I don't know how to pronounce that. Perlmutter. Yeah, Isaac Perlmutter. Is that going to be it? Disney lays off. He's the guy he's been sacked, right? That was a year ago. Black Panther. Let's put this. Sorry, I should have kept this on the screen. Palmer. Let's put that back on the screen. As Marvel chairman, Palmer famously fought Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige over making Black Panther and Captain Marvel on the belief that movies with black or women lead characters would not be commercially successful, until Agar intervened and overruled Palmer. That's crazy, yo. And look how groundbreaking those films. I'm saying that, like, that film did. Don't get it twisted. The success of Black Panther has changed cinema. Like, that has changed cinema. So that does need to be saluted. You know what I'm saying? Captain Marvel, on the other hand, yeah, it hasn't done the same thing for women. But we've had women's lead films, like, on a big level as well. But we just haven't. I think we haven't had it to that level of these huge blockbuster Marvel films in this era. Them right wingers love to bring up like Alien, all this films. Yeah, cool. Them films have existed, cool. Yeah, but why are you complaining now? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, crazy. That's mad. I didn't even know that. Well, I'm gonna look into that a bit more. But wow, yeah, like that. I remember saying, yeah, when Black Panther was so successful, I remember saying to my brethren, all my friends like that are into comics and all of that or whatever, or just into the films, I was like, well, specifically the ones that are into comics because they might know the stories a bit. I was like, now this opens the door for Falcon to become Captain America and there to be a Black Captain America film. And I said that back then. If you look at how many years that is, I didn't even think it would happen in that short amount of films. And I think there was a thing I'd seen that Anthony Mackie had been signed up for 7 films or something. Like, he had the longest running like Marvel contract. So I was like, yeah, they're giving him the Captain America film at some point because it's got to be one of them. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm enjoying this.
Black Panther from coming out because he didn't believe that a black superhero could make money for Marvel. Then it was about race. It absolutely was. And therefore,
red flag for my
the response to that has to be about race as well, because that is what it's rooted in. So if you don't want it to be about race, then stop pushing back so hard against it.
Yeah.
So stop pushing back. It's like these men when they go identity politics. Yeah, you are committing the identity politics. Yeah, because you keep bringing this up and making this into a thing. Yeah, it's not identity politics to create diversity. Yeah, that's challenging identity politics. Identity politics is the fact we don't have a diversity. The identity politics is white people in the forefront of everything. It's men and cis straight men in the front of everything. That's identity politics. You pushing back on diversity and equality, that's identity politics. Simple shit.
Again, for those that are excited about X-Men 97, don't let me rain on your parade. Go for it. Be excited for it. Love it. Have at it. I've been through this way too many times with Disney and Hollywood and all of this, and there was some nostalgia bait in that trailer for sure. And I don't have a problem with nostalgia.
Nostalgia to the woke
nostalgia for the right
show
reasons, and not meant to pull you in so that they can then push their nonsense. And that.
So we're gonna stop the video there. It's pretty much done. But that's the thing is, they were saying that it was going to be a bait and switch. I don't see how it could be a bait and switch when this was the release prior to it coming out. What are they baiting you in? If the nostalgia is there, so is all of this. Unless you understand that this stuff, this stuff isn't a big deal. That would be the only reason why you would think it's a bait and switch, is if you truly believe something like this, a character who honestly doesn't get that much time in the show. Morph is not really a massive part of the series. There's a few characters they're focusing on in this first season, and Morph is not one of them. Morph has cool moments where they change into like different people and get to use their powers and stuff like that. That's really about it. And then their relationship with Wolverine. It's pretty much it. Let's watch a follow-up video to this one about Bo DeMaio, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on all of this and why we are in the position we're in right now. All right, so the title of this one is X-Men 97.
I want to know about this, right? but I don't want to make this video reaction too long, so I might do you know what? I'm going to continue because I'm liking it. I'm just going to continue. This reaction is just going to be a long one, and then I got a lot to cover today, but we're going to get onto it. Yeah, go on, because I want it. The thing is, I know they don't know why he was fired, didn't it? So I don't know how much information I want to get out of this. I could skip to just his final thoughts, but let's give it a go.
Creator fired by Disney, woke on woke crime. Before we get into this, I want to make it very clear. I still have no idea. We still have no idea why Bo parted ways with Disney. There's a lot of rumors out there, things people are saying, not very good stuff. So this is not me defending Bo DeMaio. I think it's a little weird to stand on the front lines for somebody when you have no idea what they did. So once we find out what happened, which who knows what it is. Right now, Bo DeMaio is commenting on social media, being very open about X-Men 97, and Disney doesn't seem to have an issue with that. So I'm not totally sure what happened. But this was the second and last video on the official Geeks and Gamers page by Jeremy since the show has been released.
X-Men 97 showrunner Bo DeMaio.
This just shows how much shit I don't know, innit? You know what I'm saying? So, I just realized the title of this video, is Geeks and Gamers Humiliated. I just thought he meant in general Geeks and Gamers, like right-wing Geeks and Gamers. I didn't realize that was the actual channel he's mocking, yeah? So, I'm team my guy, and we're going with this in Geeks and Gamers, yeah, not Geeks and Gamers generically. I'm sure there's plenty of nice and good on the right side, left side, should I say, Geeks and Gamers.
Has been fired weeks before the premiere of X-Men 97 on Disney Plus. Now, I'm a huge fan of X-Men the animated series, as are most of you that are watching this video, because X-Men the animated series was peak. And I mean, I just don't really care about X-Men 97, mainly because of the people involved in it, and I don't have any faith in them whatsoever. And
so here we are again. This is so weird to me. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. This is so weird to me. How these guys think that we should be supporting movies and TV shows with conservatives in them, with Trump supporters in them, with people who don't support LGBTQIA+. We're supposed to look beyond that and just focus on the content that is there, like the movies, TV shows, cartoons, music, whatever it might be. But then they're the first ones to jump out and be like, I'm not going to support this thing because it's got gay people involved in making it, or it's got trans people in it, or they talk about social and political things. Like, are we supposed to like detach from that? Is that what we're supposed to be doing? I'm trying to figure it out. Are we supposed to detach the social activism of people on in public and things they do in public? Are we supposed to detach that from the media they're making or not? Let's continue.
Well, it feels like they want them to detach it when it's like politics and social issues and diversity in the shows they want to watch and films they want to watch. But they want to completely remove it when it's like their favorite actor committing some form of abuse against somebody. Johnny Depp, anybody. But yeah, like whatever. Like they want to remove it when they want to remove it. These guys, and you know, these guys... Life is full of contradictions. Yeah, I get called out for hypocrisy, whatever. It's cool. I get it. That we've all got contradictions, but it's some pretty wild ones. Yeah.
Here you have Bo DeMaio, who has been celebrated for his sexuality and his race. Now he's being fired. I guess Disney just doesn't like gay black men. I mean, this really seems toxic. Why would you fire a gay black man just weeks before the premiere of the show that he was the showrunner on, where he stunningly and bravely introduced a non-binary character? Disney, why are you so toxic?
I think it's always funny to me when they make the jokes about the virtue signaling stuff. To me, it's just like, do you believe it or do you not believe it? I guess it's part of the game they play, is we're not supposed to know. Keeps it light over there.
It says, in an unusual situation on the eve of a project debut, the writer-producer who worked on Moon Knight and Blade will no longer be promoting the show or moving forward with future seasons. This is from The Hollywood Reporter. But early last week, Marvel and DeMaio suddenly parted ways. His company email was deactivated, and cast and crew were informed he would no longer be on the project. DeMaio's Instagram account, once a source of X-Men updates, was deleted. No reason for the firing was given. This sounds like something really bad happened. This sounds like this dude had some really bad stuff, and they have acted very swiftly. Imagine that, a person that was hired.
I know it's crazy here. Like I said, when it suits them, they jump on this kind of thing. So now he ain't even had no accusation. We don't really know what it is. I haven't really looked at these rumors properly. When it's a gay person, a black person of any group of diversity that they don't want, these guys are ready to go on smoke. Oh my God, he's such a bad person. He did this. Cancel him. You know what I'm saying? But not. Let that be a straight white man. Let that be a straight white man in their lead role. Nah. Get him out of it. Let that be a conservative. Nah, they're not hearing none of it.
Strictly for their sexuality and their race now has a bunch of problems.
That word strictly is very loaded. We don't know that, sis. We don't know. Like, or what is, like, do you have inside information? Do you know that they hired Bo strictly because he's a gay black guy?
Oh yeah, that's wild.
Do you know that for sure? Or are you
the
projecting
right person for the job
your
is Orlando.
insecurities and your anger? Let us know. Write in, please.
Say it ain't so. Marvel had no comment. DeMayo's representatives did not return calls for comment, and the emails to the showrunner yielded no response. Marvel announced DeMayo's hiring in March of 2021. The move was met with some level of excitement. And, of course, there it is. His identity as a gay black man on the project. Oh, it got us so excited. Representation matters. And it says, and made it a point to talking about how the press, how growing up as an adopted son of white parents with a Korean sister in the South made the X-Men characters and their struggles for acceptance by society feel personal to him. Of course. His silence on social media.
I want to say the reason why people like Jeremy are so sarcastic and get so annoyed when people like myself or other people in marginalized communities see themselves in material like the X-Men as marginalized. The reason why they get so annoyed by that, they do not understand struggles, not the same struggles that marginalized communities understand. They don't know what it's like to be in the position of these characters. They don't know what it's like to be written in a role on a show as a marginalized person, and then have the opportunity to share that with the world, and then have other people who are marginalized see that and go, hey, I understand that. I get all the coding in this. I see what this means.
And they obviously seem angry that other people make that connection, that other people are getting that representation, right? Because they're used to it all being about them. So the tiniest little bit of, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, equality feels like oppression to the privileged, something like that.
And it means something to me, which is what makes these stories so good. And instead of sitting back and going, I'm going to take this opportunity to not be an asshole and learn something about people who are different than myself, take a chance on hearing them out and seeing what it is about them and their lives that connects with these characters. Instead of doing that, I'm going to put up this fucking gate, this gate in front of me, this wall in front of me, and just put my fingers in my ears and go, I can't hear you. It is the most privileged response to this. It's also the most tone-deaf response to this, because he has no idea what it's like to struggle with marginalization, because he's had the privilege of never having to do that. And these guys don't understand. When it comes to the idea of privilege in any regard, it doesn't mean that you've never struggled in your life. It means that you don't understand the struggles of other marginalized communities because you've never had.
Oh, we've got a few people popping up in the comments I don't notice. So someone called Terrible Censoring said, who's getting marginalized? He's talking in general, so he just means communities that are discriminated against. In this instance, we're talking about a showrunner of the X-Men 97 show who is a black man. Also, he's gay. So those are two different groups that are marginalized in our society. Who's privileged? This terrible censoring is now asking me. I'm kind of getting a vibe of where this person, as a viewer, leans. Who's privileged? The white man in the video here, who's completely out of touch with what's going on in the world, and he's anti-diversity. He's anti-diversity because his privilege allows him to think like that. His privilege allows him to not have any connection and compassion and understanding to marginalized communities, as the brother is explaining here very well. We've also got a comment from Aaron Porter that said, what's this Martha business? And that's about the Baby Reindeer show, because the real Martha has been out here saying some stuff online, and I'm gonna get into that after, right? I'm gonna do it after this section, which is only about 5 minutes more left. I'm gonna do one reaction to a music video that is a song in support of reform, yeah, the Brexit Party, a UK rapper. We're gonna do that, and then after that, I'm gonna do the Martha stuff, and I'm gonna start showing what she's been saying, because it's some crazy stuff. Terrible censoring said you believe all that. I mean, I don't believe it. It's like facts, like it's the facts of the world. It's not a believe and not believe. If you don't believe it, it's like not believing the sky is blue or whatever. And I'm saying you don't. Cool, a lot of people don't believe it, but they're just uneducated on facts. That's just the simplicity of it, really.
Had to suffer the same things they've had to suffer. And of course, people that are watching this support Geeks and Gamers, you're going to listen to me say that, and you're going to go, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about, blah, 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 whatever. But
Like
this
this
is
guy.
exactly why we're in the position we're in now, where there's so much hatred and anger and all of these like diversity things or big
Facts.
stories. Because if we just sat back and respected each other and had an opportunity for people to, I don't know, open the doors up for people who do not have the same, they're not afforded the same opportunities as certain demographics. If we allowed that to happen, uplifted people and gave them a chance to shine, maybe communication would be a little bit better. But that's not going to happen on the internet. It's not going to happen here. Trust and believe, it's not going to happen here.
He has been accused as
Oh boy,
he
we
was
can try.
a prolific poster sharing X-Men tidbits as well as shirtless pictures of himself from the gym. For a time, he also ran a non-explicit OnlyFans account, all of which inspired the LGBTQ publication out to declare him the sexiest gay Marvel writer and showrunner to know. Oh my God, man.
Yeah, that's part of our community. It's part of our culture. It's Out Magazine, just like you have, you know, magazine and publications that talk about heterosexual stuff and beauty and heterosexuality. I mean, it's just, that's the world, man. What do you want gay magazines to not talk about people, give them credit for being sexy? Like, aren't you guys the ones that argue that people in the queer community?
He wants them to not exist. That's what he wants. Terrible censoring is still going at it, and the thing, it's far out that you believe all that. No, it's far out that you don't understand it. That's what's far out. It's far out that it's not basic knowledge. In fact, it is basic knowledge to most people. But there's a lot of, you know, we are brainwashed as a society to follow white supremacy. So there's a lot of people who don't get it, and things are coming along in some kind of way. But, you know, a lot of people who aren't passionately against all of that stuff, they actually do get it a lot of the time, because they're not like super like energized by either side, but they do understand, like white people, they do understand that they have privilege without even having to label it. They know that, like, it's just very obvious. Any white person who's lived in this world is going to have experienced their privilege. That's on some scale. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it gets hard when you're talking about people from the working class and lower classes and really poor and people who've suffered in other ways, but that's not racial suffering. You know what I'm saying? That's not racial suffering. He's saying that people who haven't come from marginalized communities can't relate. So a white person who's come from a working class community can relate. You know what I'm saying? If they really come from like working class poor background, they're also from a marginalized community. It's just not a racially based marginalized community, right? So that's cool. He's saying not every white person agree. No, loads of white people don't agree. Loads of them don't. And most of them who are passionately disagree, they're the people who are the actual problem and they're the cause of it. Those are the ones who are upholding it, and they're fighting against it because deep down they actually know it's true and they want to keep it that way. That's why they're the most dangerous and the most aggressive white people that are out here. You want to uphold white supremacy, you want to uphold white privilege, you deny it in order to keep it. There's no other reason to it. It's as simple as that. It's just what it is.
In the woke community don't like sexy people, and now you have a problem with somebody being awarded something for being sexy. It's literally like you just don't want to see us do shit, get shit, or be part of anything.
Ridiculous.
Shout out my guy Ryan Gerbrands in the comments. He said can relate but still have white privilege, so he understands it, right? So I assume he's saying he can relate because of his own upbringing, maybe a class marginalization, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? I relate to that, but I don't relate to it as a white person. I've never experienced any discrimination from my race as a white person. The only discrimination I ever experienced from my race in my life was racism from white people who had an issue with my connection with black culture and being involved in hip hop. That's where I experienced racism. But that racism, I've actually, I learned to say, you know what, this ain't even aimed at me. It's mad. I'm getting this, but it's not me. It's aimed at blackness. Yeah, it's aimed at black culture. So I can walk away from it. Yeah. So it's even a privilege for me to be able to make this choice to say, all right, I'm facing this discrimination from them because of an alignment with black culture. I've got the privilege to walk away from that and I could have start getting into their culture and be like, I want to be with them then. I chose not to. And he said, have you ever watched Jesse Lee Peterson? Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson's an idiot. Come on, man. Come on, bro. The man's thing, yeah. Like, these people do this every time, yeah. I want to show who he's talking about. This is what they do. This person, yeah, is going to get really mad. You know what? I always do it. They think, oh my God, you love just calling everyone racist. Yes, this person, terrible censoring, is terrible at censoring their racism, yeah. This person, terrible censoring, is a racist. Because look at this. He wants to, this is what he's doing. He's pointing out a right-wing American patriotic black person as a weapon. He's using a black person as a weapon to attack all other black people. Disgraceful. Big, fat, red flag for terrible censoring. Terrible censoring. You are terrible at censoring your racist ideologies. What a nasty guy. Yeah, that's the worst. That's the most racist thing any of these guys do. You should check out this. You should check out Morgan Freeman. He says that race, we should stop talking about. Shut up. Yeah? Shut up. Yeah? I'll dash this at you. Fool. Yeah? Idiot, man. Get out of here. They want to weaponize the one black person who says things that support white racism. Get out of here. Nothing wrong with being right-wing or American. Nothing wrong with being American. Of course not. You're born American. Yes, there's something wrong with being right-wing. Right-wing, by definition, is being anti-equality. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, these are just political spectrums, so they treat it... It's just... I don't even like that. I hate the ideas of right-wing and left-wing, but we have to talk about them just because they're the easiest way to describe where people sit politically, right? But yeah, being right-wing is... Most of the world is right-wing. The world is run by right-wing governments, but they are all corrupt. They are all doing us dirty. They are all against equality, against people, against humanity. So yeah, there's a lot wrong with it. There's a very, very lot wrong with it. Raga Brown said, you seem pretty triggered, terrible censoring. This is an American person, obviously, but so he doesn't understand probably some... he said, so you've taken sides politically, you support Biden. Why would I support Biden? Biden is right-wing. Like, this is the problem, yeah? Like, these guys don't realize that both sides of the coin are right-wing. They think that's why the left and right thing is problematic, because they follow the pantomime version. And like, it's worse in America, but it's the same here. And it's actually really bad here now with Keir Starmer and the Conservatives, because we're told the Labour Party is the left-wing party, but it's not. It's very right-wing. And we're told the Democrats are the left-wing party, but they're not. They're majoritively a right-wing. I mean, they're majoritively a right-wing party. Most of their things they push for are right-wing. You know, they allow... I think Talib Kweli, I saw explain it well the other day. He said that the Democrats allow some space for left-wing conversations, but it doesn't mean they're all left-wing, right? That's what I'm saying. It's not actually what they're doing. Raga Brunson, and well done for spotting a left-wing channel. Biden isn't. And terrible censoring said both sides are right-wing. What you gonna do then? I'm doing it right here, bro. I'm a social justice warrior, and you like my t-shirt? You can buy this t-shirt at socialjusticewarrior.co.uk. But if you're in America, you're gonna have to pay the shipping. Yeah. So I'm doing what I can, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I can, because I'm going to do another video today as well on the London mayor election. I did one last week. I haven't uploaded it separately. I've done the edit. But it's interesting. I was just like, where is the left-wing option? It wasn't really there. There wasn't anyone left running that was a viable option. what's his name was there. I'm gonna forget his name now. Anyway, and terrible censoring said, and the left wing do nothing wrong. Well, no, see, you're getting the wrong idea. Like I said, you're talking about who is labelled left wing and who is labelled right wing. I'm talking about definitions of, yeah. So by definition, being left wing means being for equality, yeah. So you can do something wrong in a person who can believe left wing ideas and do something wrong. A person can present themselves in left wing and do right wing things, but then once we look at it, we go, oh, actually they're right wing. So by definition, most of the things if you pulled up something what the left wing do that's wrong, right, or a left wing person does that's wrong, you give me an example. I guarantee you now, go and do it. Give me an example of left wing people doing something wrong, and I'll pretty much guarantee it'll be a right wing action. Yeah, it'll be a right wing action, or it will reveal your own discrimination. Yeah. Ryan Gerbrand said, we live in England. What I mean is, Biden isn't left wing, so he's agreeing with me. Anyway, this has been a nice tangent. It's good to have some people interacting, but I'm gonna get back to the rest of this. It's terrible censoring said it's a form of control, same as right wing. Yes, but the form of control is because they're both right wing. You're not getting it. This what you guys love saying is, oh, two wings of the same bird. No, the same wing. Yeah, the narrative doesn't work because you've got to start understanding that the left wing is by definition the side of equality and doing things right. So that's what we should all be doing. We should all be going, actually, no, let's be left wing. You know what I'm saying? Not they're all the same. It's like, no, they're all right wing and we don't like either of them. Yeah, so cool. But actually, you lot do like them. You do like the Republicans. You do like Donald Trump. You like them really extreme right-wing guys over there. Yeah, you lot are so right-wing. You're so fascist. You're so racist that actually, even the people that are more just to the center of the right wing, they're too left-wing to you, right? Because it's gone so far over that. He said, so you're a commie, you want left-wing masters. I don't want any masters. Communism means not having masters. Communism means not to have a state. Yeah? I ideologically support the idea of communism, but I don't think it currently, is that possible. So I don't really fight for it or nothing like that. So I don't call myself a communist, but I am, I understand the benefit of communism. It's never been done in the world. There's never been a time when communism has been attempted or achieved. Yeah, again, every time they label something communism, it was something right wing. Anyway, let's get on with the video. This is a good clip though. This has been a good little section.
At times, social media had proven a challenge while making the series, blah, 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 blah. So we don't know what's going on. What we do know is something bad must have happened. This does not sound good. This sounds like they are trying to get ahead of whatever they are facing right now. This does nothing for X-Men 97. X-Men 97 will more than likely be woke trash.
Oh, that didn't age well, did it? Woke trash. Right now, the show is not only extremely well received by the fans, so well received that Disney is super excited to get working on multiple seasons of it. It's critically praised. People in your space who weren't trying to grift off of outrage full time have also said it's really good. We talk about wokeness. As we were trying to tell you, as a lot of us were trying to tell you, the
terrible censoring said it's literally in China and Russia who taught you all that. Now, who taught you all that, bro? Because China and Russia have governments. Yeah, they have money. Communism means no money, no class system, no state. No state means no government. So how could you call any of those places communism when they have money, they have class system, they have states? You don't understand what you're talking about, my friend.
X-Men are inherently woke. They could not get any more woke than they already are because they just are. They're already diverse. They're already dealing with social issues. They're already dealing with oppression from being mutants. There's literally nothing more they could do to be any woker than they already are. But you guys are fucking stupid and you didn't understand that. You wanted to push back against that. Let's have a conversation about that now before we wrap this video up. So this didn't age well. This was an astroturfing attempt by Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers, which also a lot of other channels, Melanie Mack, Nerdrotic, Heel versus Babyface, Eric July, all these folks in the space took a shot at astroturfing X-Men 97. And the reality is, if you want to believe what they say about objectivity, then the people have spoken.
Red flag for all of them.
X-Men 97 is a fantastic series. It's done really, really well. And if you guys would have just listened to us, the actual fans of the X-Men, the ones who've been reading it for 40, 50 years or more, if you would...
I don't want to keep... I want to get through this, but obviously I want to keep this conversation flowing as well. Why don't you ask me what we want, Rago Brands said, instead of telling us what we want. And Terrible Censoring said, real anarchists don't argue for the left wing. Okay, Terrible Censoring. Do you want to go... Should we just get this on the screen? Anarchism, right? I did this the other day. Because I would say, in a way, I would say I'm more anarchist than communist, right? And there's a lot of people on the right wing, people that are anti... socialism, communism, and all of that, right? That say no, we're anti-government, but we want anarchism. Yeah, this is what you want, right? So, anarchism is a socialist movement, my bro. Anarchism is socialism. Yeah, see it here? Usually described as the libertarian wing of the socialist movement. Libertarian socialism. So, what did you just say? I still haven't got around to putting the comments on the screen. I'm going to start doing that at some point, but I know everyone watching can see them on the side anyway. You said, real anarchists don't argue for left wing. Anarchism is literally left wing. Anarchism is a left wing concept. Idiots, man. People are so dumb. These guys are just dumb. You're actually idiots. It's just a simple fact of what it is. Stupid people say stupid things. Anyway, let me get back to the rest of the comments. He's just a lot of waffle. He said, read Marx. Yes, reading Marx will tell you what I just told you. Yeah? Because it will tell you that communism means not to have a state, no money, yeah, and no class system. Those are the 3 points of communism in Marx. They're in Marx writing. Yeah, so look into it, bro. I'm saying. And then Aaron Porter said Cuba had a government. Yeah, Cuba wasn't social. It wasn't communist either. My whole point is there's never been communism. Like communism has never been achieved. Socialism. Yeah, socialism is supposed to be a stepping stone to communism, right? So forms of socialism has existed, but it's always been a bit of both, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? It's always been communism, like socialism and capitalism. It's also been a mixture of structures, isn't it? So no, communism's never actually been achieved or even attempted to be fully achieved. Yeah, there's a lot of waffling going in the thing. He said, you obviously want commie rulers. So it's what these guys do. Like, they'll say all this stuff. When I break it down for you, you don't have a counter for what I'm actually saying. So you just go, spit your dummy out. You know what I'm saying? They're just idiots, man. Rago Brands, our mind is polluted because we want affordable homes, fair pay, free healthcare, and free uni. Simple as that, man. Aaron Porter said, I need to do some reading to get a better understanding on this. I mean, I do as well, to be fair. Don't get me wrong. I need to do more reading, yeah. I want to do more reading on I want to read more Karl Marx even. Like I haven't read like the Communist Manifesto and his work properly. I've read bits of it. You know what I'm saying? I've read what I've looked for as well. So I do, and I've had loads of debates on it and looked pieces up as we've been doing it and had pieces shown to me. So I know about it, but I want to read on it more. You know what I'm saying? But I have researched whether communism has actually been achieved or attempted anywhere, and it hasn't. It's like they've used the word. It's like the same thing as like the Labour Party calling themselves left wing when they're not left wing. They're calling themselves that to get votes. So all these countries that have had communist parties get in, they're just calling themselves that to get your vote, right? They're using a name as a term. with what's this woman Amy Gallagher the other day? She's running for the Social Democrat Party, right? And Ryan Gerbrands a minute ago said he was a Social Democrat or something, or you know, Jeremy Corbyn calls himself a Social Democrat. It's quite a left wing thing, but she's a right wing lunatic. Like she's literally a right winger. So, do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I gotta stop responding to this guy because he's being a bit stupid. But it's creating a good conversation, so I respect it. It's throwing me off from the reaction, but it's all relative as well, so it's good to have this content in there at the same time. But let's just get to the end of this. Shout out X-Men. As he's been saying, X-Men 97 has been excellent. As a comic fan, so excellent. And I'm not sure when he made this video. It's quite new, but I don't know when he made it. But this week's episode was so good, yeah. And it would burn the anti-woke people, but it was so good. So they still couldn't even, like, it had, I don't want to give spoilers, but it had a clip in it where it had a cameo from Captain America, and had a clip in it with Captain America getting called America's top cop, which I thought was the coldest writing. Yo, what's America's top cop doing here, or something like that. And it had a clip in it where they gave a Martin Luther King quote, I think, saying that riots are the voice of the unheard, or whatever. I think that's the quote. And it's like there's this whole debate with these guys that I'm reacting to here. These two guys are probably just like be on the two sides of it, right? That they argue that X-Men wasn't made to represent civil rights and wasn't a representation of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. So it's just hilarious. The writers, they know that conversation's going on, and they've slipped in that quote to directly show, like, yeah, whatever you don't think, we're slipping this in there now. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, let's just be clear, it has always been there. You can look it back. There's always been a very clear connection between civil rights and the X-Men. I've watched so many videos of them trying to debunk it. I'm sure this guy's debunked it. I need to get his name right, because look at it. It's DJ Eric. Yeah, Eric debunks. Eric, so that must be his name, Eric. Big him up, man. This guy's sick.
Would have listened to us and just gone, hey, they're right. It's always been woke. It's always been diverse. They're going to cover social issues, political issues, things like that, marginalization, because that's what the X-Men do. If you would have just listened to us and gone in and enjoyed the show, just like everybody else, you wouldn't have had to be making videos like this and then not mentioning it ever again, because you know that you were absolutely wrong. And this is part of the course for these channels. There's 2 or 3 things they usually do when they're wrong about their astroturfing. The first is this: they won't talk about it again. They will not make a video about it. They won't bring it up unless there's some controversy. If some news comes out about Bo DiMaio, they will make a video about it.
Oh yeah,
but
they'll jump on him.
There's nothing they'll say about the show if the fans are loving it, if it's well received. They will not do it. The other thing is to flip it around and pivot it against something else. So there's another cartoon out that was more woke than X-Men. If that was happening, and they hated...
Not a cartoon, but I'll give you one. The Boys. The Boys is the most woke art. It's the most woke. I need to find something of my guy Eric. Yeah. Eric. I wasn't even making the connection. That was 2 words. I need to find out if he's done any videos on The Boys, because obviously I'm with how intelligent he is and like up on these issues. He's got to know and spoke about how woke The Boys is, but how much the right wing completely don't understand it and think it's for them.
That cartoon, they would talk about how much X-Men is destroying that cartoon. They'd find a way to wrap it around that.
Yeah, that they say, The Boys is destroying,
they will
blah, blah,
wait
blah.
till the season is over, start astroturfing the next season. Like they'll start going, hey, well, the first season was good, but you know how Disney is, you know what's going to happen. And we'll start waiting for news and tidbits about season 2 so they can start astroturfing again. This is part of the course for these guys. And again, it was fun to go back and look at this because Jeremy's become the meme for this, where it's like, oh, look what you were doing, and then just silence, crickets. You're not talking about it anymore. These folks don't fundamentally understand the media they're consuming. So at a level of just media literacy when it comes to TV shows, movies, things like that, they don't get it. They have found a niche core audience that also doesn't understand movies and TV shows. And what they've become is they have become the mouthpieces for people who are not creative enough to understand good and bad things in art. So everything to them is a simple equation. That's how they view the world. That's how they view art. And as long as you do that, as long as you're someone that consumes art and entertainment that way, you will always run the risk of looking like an idiot. And if you're okay with that, then be the idiot.
Be the idiot, yes.
Just like Jeremy.
Jeremy, yeah, shout out Jeremy. Geeks and Gamers. Yeah. I just paused him to say be the idiot, and he said it before I even said that guy. Big up Eric the Bunks. Subscribe to his channel. I'm already subscribed after the other day. A few comments here, blah blah blah. I'm not reading it all out, you know what I'm saying? But big up Raga Brands, who's going at it with my man in the comments and basically owning him. And one thing Terrible Centurion has said is you'll never get power or change things. Yeah, maybe not, but guess what? Here we are. Social Justice Warrior. Here's that my guy. He's getting a good channel flowing. He's getting people talking. He's achieving something. And guess what, mate? You're not. You're sitting there triggered, trying to stop us from changing things. That's why you're here, and we're not going to let you stop us.